or you're lucky enough to be the artist and the game designer at the same time, and then you
those people are too talented.
Yeah,
they should.
Those people need to stop. They need to stop making us look inferior. When we started talking, we were talking about the art, and there is a lot of art in React. It's very much on theme. But I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about the best practices for commissioning artists to work on your games.
Yeah, I've talked with a lot of artists in my time working on games. Not just this first game, React, which is my first like real commercial game, sure, which I'm pretty proud of how I'm working with these two artists. But with the fan games, I've worked with over 200 artists at this point. And I think this industry is, so the board game industry has very tight margins, and I think that's not a big secret. Yeah. Everybody's always talking about it. But I think the margin isn't as tight as people make it out to be for people on the top end.
Sure.
Like these Kickstarters that have millions of dollars. And some teams are very great about paying their artists. Like the Frosthaven team pays very well. They're great people. I don't like games that are minis and take 200 hours and weigh 60 pounds, but I really appreciate the amount of art and love they put into it. Then there are some games that, try their best to get an artist off of Fiverr or specifically pay like younger artists, new artists, whatever they can do to try to get the cost of art down as cheap as possible.
Sure.
Which I get, for people who are on a budget or if it's your first game.
Yeah.
But I think no matter where you are on that spectrum, there's a couple of things you can always try to keep in mind.
Yep.
Number one is, try not to negotiate with your artists to lower their prices down. I see that a lot. That seems... Why?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who reach out to artists for a quote don't know how to take no for an answer, or not no, don't know how to say the words, "Oh, thank you. That's out of my price range for now.
Yep.
Appreciate it," and then move on. I think too many people who are new aren't able to just say that and move on. They aren't able to just be like, "Oh yeah, that's out of my price range. Let me go find another artist." Right. They tend to really want to be like, "Well, no, I want to work for you. This is a great opportunity. Like, why can't you lower your price for me?" I think that is mistake number one.
Yeah.
I think mistake number two is not understanding art is not like traditional work, and that it's not exactly a per hour work. It's a per asset work. Yeah. You're paying for the asset. You're not paying for the hours.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how fast an artist is. If that asset is worth a certain amount of dollars, that's how much that asset's worth. Yeah. Like if they say this asset's worth, $500, that's how much it's worth. It doesn't matter if they take some, 4 hours or 50 hours, right? Like you're paying for a deliverable.
Right.
And I think those are probably the two biggest mistakes I see with artists, with people who are commissioning artists for the first time. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of like be kind. Like it feels like very obvious things to say, but like sure, this industry really, really does not pay artists nearly enough. And right. I don't think I'm paying my artists like the biggest amount that I could, but there is a scale, right? Like if your company is making a ton of money off of the art, then you should realize that, and hopefully the artists you're commissioning are also mature enough to see that, right? For example, if like a big company like Sega or like Konami or whatever reach out to you and make a commission, you should recognize that this is a commission coming from a very large company, and thus your value should be determined by how much value they're going to generate. And of course, if it's a commission for personal use, it's like, hey, I want a picture drawn for me to use as a profile picture, or like,
sure,
whatever, on a wedding invitation.
Sure.
Like obviously that goes into it as well. It's like, well, you're not going to be paying $3,000 for a single picture that's only going on a wedding invitation. You're not making money off of it, right?
Exactly.
So there's a big range. there's a big range here. There's a big range here. But I think I think as long as when you go out, if you're a designer listening to this, or even if you're a publisher, you go out to reach your artist, learn to just say, this is out of my price range and move on. I think that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
I think that people who aren't able to do that are the worst. Like, that's the number one thing you need to get over.
Yeah. I've commissioned art before, and my process, well, mostly I knew the artist, so I was like, hey, I was wondering if you could draw my character from D&D, because I was playing at the time in the campaign, and I was like, how much is it? And then he told me, and I was like, oh, okay. That was my experience. It's like, if he had given me a really high number, and I'd be like, I guess I can't do that right now, or what else do you offer? But again, he's a professional artist. I kind of figured that I'd be paying money for it. I wouldn't have asked him if it was, if that wasn't the case.
Can you do me a favor and just kind of,
Yeah, could you just do this for, like, free? I love
exposure. It's better than free.
I've seen so many people that are kind of like going, why are you negotiating with me? I've seen a lot of artists, especially online, that have said, no, I'm gonna give you a list of my prices, so here's the prices, guys. That's what this is all for.
Yeah.
And
there's two things that you can you can trade with somebody for anything. It's money and interest, right? Yes. An artist might be interested in the work, which might mean you have to pay them less. But if you're commissioning for, like, your original character or your original IP, whatever, like, you're making a board game, they're not interested in it.
Right.
You're paying them to be interested in it, right? Like,
exactly.
There's no way they're going to give you a discount. But that's why a lot of artists offer discounts on fan art. They're like, hey, this is my favorite series, and if you commission me to draw a character from that series, I'll, lower the price. Because they're like, I probably would have drawn that character eventually anyways, because I like that character.
Right.
But I would love to be paid for it. And, the commission usually is more just so like, yeah, I want to see this character become fan arted. Like, I want that to exist.
Certainly.
That kind of ties back in with my fan game. I think, like, when that kind of all just got started, it was with zines in general. It's an artist driven initiative, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think anybody expects to be paid as if they're working on a commercial project, because they get to pick, for my instance, they get to pick which character we want to draw. Like, no, I'm not telling them what to draw. I'm not telling them how to draw it.
Right.
And I basically tell them they can take up to, like, 2 years to do it.
Yeah.
And so it's, and then they get the thing that they drew in the final project. And I think that's pretty standard with all these fanzines. Either the profit is split in parts, or you get a payout. But that's like not the same as like a commercial product, right? Like with original characters, you're not drawing your favorite anime character. And it is surprising to see some of these prices. Like, I've seen board games where each illustration only costs them like $50. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And they're like very excited to tell me. I was like, yeah, it's super cheap. Like, I found this artist off of Fiverr, or like, yeah, this artist, lives in Singapore. I'm like, this is not, there's a problem here. Like, you can't, that's not justifiable. Mm. And they're like, yeah, they just graduated college. I'm like, I get it. But like, 1 or 2 pieces, maybe. But if you're having them illustrate 50, 20, 30 pieces, the money needs to be translated for a commercial product. That's really what it is, right?
Right. Yeah. And people need to be aware that it's a commercial product. Like, you like right up at the front.
Yeah. I mean, I think I remember back in the day hearing like Magic the Gathering paid like $600 for a card illustration. It's like, what the hell? $600 for a single card, and they don't even get the cards.
Yeah.
Like, even now, that's actually the same. They probably get paid a little bit better. I don't know if it's a lot better. I don't think so. I think Magic now has mostly in-house artists, anyways.
I think so. Yeah. Just
I remember a long time
ago.
To
do illustrating for, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember like somebody said they got paid $600 for illustration, and they don't get a copy of the card. They have to actually go buy the cards.
Oh, God.
That card's actually the funnier part, but I think that's standard. They don't just print off an extra copy of the card to give them. They print off like prototype print for like test prints and stuff.
Sure.
I think that's so funny. You don't get the card you drew. I'm sure they get one somehow or another. A friend or somebody passes them a copy, but they don't
They just
officially
print the
get a
art
free
off
copy.
themselves.
Yeah, they don't get an
Yeah,
official
exactly.
free copy.
Maybe you
I
get
think
it
it's
for
so funny.
maybe you get it for free if it's like a common, but if it's a rare, you gotta.
Well, if it's a common, somebody probably just has a stack
Yeah,
lying
just have
somewhere,
a
and they just
stack
take them. They're just-
Yeah, if you have to do. Oh no, sorry, it's the rare type. You gotta find those in the packs.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You gotta
Yeah,
spend
but-
$600 to get it.
you guys.
That's an extreme example, but like
Sure.
a lot of RPG books, for example, just they don't pay that well when it's like third party, like you're getting like random artists, like you're not. But like I think that's why some of these bigger projects just have a dedicated onboard artist, like they're just part of the project.
Right. Or you're lucky enough to be the artist and the game designer at the same time, and then you
Those people
just
are
draw
too
it.
talented.
Yeah,
They should.
those people need
Too
to stop. They need to
Stop
stop making
existing.
us look inferior.
Yeah, like Toby Fox. How dare you
How dare
know
you.
how to do everything? How can you make music, make art, make a video game, and do marketing,
Like,
and be a genius? Like how is it possible? And you're funny. What? That's not fair.
why
Like,
does Concerned Ape make the whole thing? I don't understand.
how is he so talented? That's just not fair.
It's not right. I'm still buying Haunted Chocolatier, but it doesn't mean that I'm happy.
I'm so
that
excited
you,
for it.
Yeah, it's so good.
He made a board game. What are you doing? Where do you get all this? Okay, his friend helped him design it, but still, like, you have so much talent.
still-
in one person. My God. My
Still-
God.
Share some of that talent around.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I understand it took you a long time to make it, but even still.
It's too impressive.
Yeah,
too impressive.
exactly.
They're mind blowing. Those are truly
Oh,
mind blowing people.
My God. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Haunted Chocolatier. Alex has no
so
idea what
excited.
we're talking about. That's
Nope.
Oh,
fine.
it's so cute.
It looks great. Oh my God. Alex, you know Stardew Valley?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, guy that made Stardew Valley. New game.
Okay.
Building a new game. You get to
Gotcha.
you're a chocolatier. And it's a haunted town. And you get to make your own chocolate.
You get little ghosts that help you make chocolate.
You get
It's great.
ghosts
Super
to help
cute.
you make chocolates.
Is
Alex.
it? Does it play like Stardew Valley?
Probably.
We have no idea. Maybe.
well,
probably.
it's got some
probably.
elements.
It probably
play.
won't.
If it doesn't
It
play,
plays like a different game.
he'll probably be happy.
I might
with
try
it.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't a Stardew Valley fan, so
It's one
You
of my
just didn't
favorite
install the right
games.
mods.
Yeah,
probably same with Minecraft.
I had no mods. Still one of my favorite games.
Oh, that's great. It's a great game.
Uh,
I'm a big fan of that genre though, so that's kind of.
Oh yeah, the life sims. In general, if I'm commissioning an artist,
Oh yes.
if I'm commissioning an artist, I don't haggle with the price, and definitely make sure that they know that what kind of usage it's going to be for. Yeah, and don't think of it in terms of time frame, but as the piece itself.
Yes, you're not paying for their time. You're paying for an asset. I
Yeah.
think that's the number one thing.
Got it.
Because I've heard horror stories of people being like if they draw the art too quickly, the person will be like, oh, well, that didn't take you that long. Like, well, how about like, would you be okay with doing more of these, for a lower price? I'm like, it doesn't matter how fast.
Right.
It's the asset.
Fair enough.
Definitely don't. If your artist streams, don't go on their stream asking why they're not working on your art. Like,
Oh jeez.
Oh wow, my God!
I've seen it
I feel-
happen. My God,
Oh,
that's that's not a good thing to do.
that's not gonna make it faster. That's not gonna make it faster. Oh my God. Okay, well, good advice for anyone who might be listening right now and was thinking about commissioning some art.
Hopefully not our brand designer because
We can't
just
afford
don't
our
listen to
brand
this.
designer. Let's put it to you that way. If it wasn't for the fact that Crave specifically said that she would make all of the stuff, we wouldn't be able to pay Crave.
Yeah.
That's just,
Sometimes marriage has advantages.
Yes, like
Yeah.
your graphic designer.
yeah.
I'm married to an auditor, an accountant, but I do her taxes, so sometimes it works the other way.
Sometimes I
Fair
can't
enough.
do art, so
I asked her when I first started my small business for help doing taxes because Brotherman Games is a publishing company. It's a business
Sure.
and figuring out how to do small business income tax. Yeah, because it's just like a one man show. And she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, you're too small for me. I only deal with like multi-million-dollar companies."
Oh, okay.
Makes sense. But she,
Little,
you know,
little tears.
Thanks.
still hurt.
Face.
Still
Oh
hurt
my
up
God.
here.
Just staring out the window with the rain pouring down.
So yeah. Now that we're married, like I actually wrap her income into mine.
Okay,
to do our
gotcha.
taxes together.
Perfect.
So, despite her being the CPA, you know, certified tax accountant, I
Yeah,
have to do her taxes. Unbelievable.
yeah. Jeez.